are, as a woman, confused about who the prize is, there will be a femininity malfunction. If you're sitting there and you're scratching your head about who the prize is, you're trying to figure out if you are the prize or if some grown, rusty, dude is the prize. Because he brings the money to the table, because he brings stability to the family, or because of this or that. That's his role. That's his job as a man. That doesn't make him the prize. That doesn't make him the prize. You are the prize. When you are confused about who the prize is, your femininity is malfunctioning. Babe, you gotta know. The question is asked, what does a woman bring to the table? She brings her feminine presence. And any well-adjusted masculine man will testify having the presence of a feminine woman that is loyal and trustworthy, and at least as a conversation is enough. You see, when a woman buys into the idea that the man is the prize, what happens is she begins to chase. And any woman that's chasing is confused about who the prize is. Prizes don't chase. People chase prizes. Because the world has convinced you that a man is the prize. Ain't no rusty Negro, no prize. You are the prize. And when you don't know that, you have to understand your femininity is malfunctioning. You're not showing up in the world in your full feminine energy. And this is when you begin to attract clowns and crowns. It's when they can sniff out the fact that you don't know who you are. And you're not showing up as the queen you are. Your crown is crooked. It may have even fallen off. You're asleep and you don't even realize that all of your value is being squandered by people who should have never even gotten a conversation.
Welcome to Grown Men Talking. This topic touches near and dear to me. It's about the pastors, the ones that tell our women whatever it takes to separate the women from the men. I believe it's a conscious effort. I believe that they know that women lead off of emotions. So if you tell women what they want to hear, not what they need to hear, it'll be beneficial to making sure that they're able to drive that Mercedes, that Ferrari, to live in that mansion on the hill, while we are not together, while we are broke, poor, and separate. All for the benefit, I should say, to make sure that they're good and that the women are happy so they could come back next Sunday and continue the madness.
You don't take care of your children, you're on your way to hell.
Quick, somebody's listening to my baby father and his mother too.
I'm about to put y'all in my business for a little bit, but y'all want to know how I told my apostolic Pentecostal pastors, mom and dad, my parents, that I was pregnant? Mind you, I was 25, and I was not married at all. So the PK got pregnant. How I told them, how they responded, how other people responded. Let's get into the tea. Let's get into the tea. Mind you, my daughter, she's 3 now. So my daughter is 3 now. Me being, not being able to confront situations head on, decided to send my mom a text message that said, I can pull up the text message. I'm gonna have to get on my MacBook, but I can pull up the text message. It said, "At what age do you want to be a grandma?" Now, why would I even play with my apostolic parents like that? Why would I even send my mama a text like that? I didn't know what else to say. I was so scared, y'all. So after I sent her the text, she sent me a message, and I knew the message was kind of sarcastic because she wouldn't say that, but she was like, "Congratulations, Ashley." And then I was like, I never said I was pregnant. And then she started naming off people that could be pregnant. So she was naming off like some of my friends. She was like, "Who is it?" Naming people because I tried to act like it wasn't me. And then I finally told her it was me. She was disappointed at first, but she was glad I came to her. Now telling my dad, my pastor, that was on a whole nother level. I was so scared to tell him. My mom ended up telling him only because I had started to bleed and I ended up having to go to the hospital. So my mom was worried and she told him. But then of course she made me tell him myself and he acted like he didn't already know I was pregnant. That was a very awkward conversation, a very honest conversation. But I ended up telling him, I was like, "Dad, I'm having a baby." Very disappointed in me. Very, very disappointed in me. However, the love that they showed me still with those circumstances, the PK getting pregnant was just makes me appreciate saints that are like them. Just makes me appreciate them as my pastors, appreciate them as my parents. Because you'd be surprised how many people came to me and asked me if I got shunned. Which I don't know why that question was even asked, but it's scary because there are situations where women get pregnant in the church and that's what happens to them. But I'm so grateful to God that I have the leaders that I do. And if you are a single mom that's pregnant, God loves you.
Broken homes is one of the biggest crises in the black community. We all know this to be a fact, right? And to be accepted in the church as a single mother is one thing, but to make it the norm is another. And this is the problem I believe with these churches today. We got preachers' kids that are glorifying online about being single mother in the church. They're telling TikTok stories. This is crazy. There's a real problem going on here. This should not be the norm, and it should not be glorified. We all know that things happen. But why is it that a pastor's daughter can get online and literally say her story, her truth, her whatever? No one wants to hear that. No one needs to hear that. We need more mothers to stand up and say, "Hey, listen, you need to be with the father of your kids. Let's demand marriage before we get pregnant." This has become so normal in our community, in every sector of it, in every walk of life, from the rich to the poor, all of us. We need to speak up against this. This has become a problem. It's been a problem for decades at this point. Women, speak to your daughters. Fathers, be involved. Get with your sons and tell them protect their seed. Talk to them about what it is to struggle and what these women will do to you with the court systems had they even had an inkling that you are potentially the father. You don't even gotta be the father in some of these states to pay child support. Let's keep it a buck. So let's talk. Let's have this conversation. This is not the norm. Young ladies, this is not normal. I don't care what this woman is talking about. Let's do better.
I'm gonna have to do a part 2. Okay, so part 2 is how other people responded. Wow, I ended up, so I was scared to go to church. I stopped, of course I got sat down because I was on praise and worship team. I'm telling you, when you're doing stuff and you think God don't see, he sees. I often joke about it because I often say that God was sick and tired of me playing games with him and he was like, "Oh yeah, do it again, you're gonna get a baby." And I think that's what happened. That's just my interpretation. But I was sat down. So after that, like, I just didn't want to come back to church. I just didn't. But I love my church community. Everyone at my church, I'm sure there were some side eyes. I'm sure there were some, side conversations. I never heard of any side conversations at my church from anyone that I knew. They loved me and embraced me the same. And they love my baby. She's 3 now. They love her. Now, the other church folks from other churches that I was friends with, I lost friends. I don't even know if I talk to any of them anymore. And I get it. I get it because I'm supposed to be a pastor's daughter. Like, this was never supposed to happen to me. And I understand. Y'all, some of those people really hurt my feelings. My feelings were really hurt. Losing friends, side eyes. I actually announced it on New Year's. I made an Instagram post, and I could see the analytics, because back then, I don't know what I thought I was doing, but I had me a little influencer page, business page, so you can see the analytics on the back end. I saw that post got shared, like, on my story. It got shared over 100 times, and I didn't have 100 people congratulating me in my DM. So, like, people were I know for a fact people were sharing it and be like, oh my God, look, she's pregnant, type stuff. I don't care anymore. I'm happy that God pulled me out of the opinions, me caring about the opinions of others. I had my baby. God blessed me even in the midst of me not deserving it, and that's a whole nother story. But I'm saying this to say, think about how you treat people that go through these type of things, because I think it says more about your character, you being that Christian saint, than it says more about them. As long as they're coming back to Christ, as long as they're showing up for church, as long as their community supports them, they gonna be okay. But it's some of y'all that need to get it together. I'm a little scared for some of y'all.
Single by choice, uncoupled by choice. We all could be with somebody right now if we wanted to be. But we are discerning. We may not want to make a choice that doesn't work, and that's okay. Don't let the pressure that your family puts on you, your friends put on you, to make you feel like there's something wrong with you if you're not in a couple, and to pressure you to feel life will be better when you are in a couple. So often, when you are rushing into being a couple, get to be in a couple and you say, I thought this was the answer to my problems. This only creates more problems. Why? Because I falsely believe life would be better if I could just have somebody. I would just be at peace if I could just find love. May I submit for your consideration? You don't have to wait for somebody to find love. You are love. God is love. You were created in love. Come on. If you don't love yourself.
We all could say we're single by choice, right? But the problem is that a lot of us want children. We want to be married. We want families. So why would you make a choice to be single? See, here's the problem, right? You didn't set yourself up for the man that you said you want. You know this pastor, and he's speaking 100% to his woman congregation. He's the problem. Ladies, line yourself up for the man that you want. Get yourself ready and get married. Get off the market.
If you don't have a husband, you are almost guaranteed to enmesh with your child and overparent, especially if it's a son. And I'm not picking on single moms here, but I want to note something because I love you. Because if you have a husband, he's going to take some of your time and energy. If he's not there, where does all your time and energy go? To your son. And it's hard to see them as an adult because they've only been your little boy. I can show you statistically, I've done the data analysis, single motherhood and young men who are failing to launch, it is a corresponding graph. Because when there's a dad in a home, he's like, differentiation, you need to go. That's my wife, get a job. And that's what dad does. If dad's not there, then the boy thinks, well, mom's always taking care of me. I'm signing up for a lifetime supply of mom taking care of me. And that's what we're seeing with a whole generation of young men.
Now listen, fellas, I am not saying the church is not a beautiful thing. You go to church, you can find something out of it. You can get inspired to do more. What I'm saying is, find a church that's more pushing male leadership, pushing what it is to be men in society, pushing what it is to be the leader of a household, pushing what it is to have your wife submit to you as you submit to God. Find the right church that's going to teach your sons how to be men along with you. Church is a great thing. Being a man is a great thing. Don't take it for granted, fellas. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.
Tell you one thing you can do that will blow his mind. Listen, if you've got a good man, if he doesn't bring you candy on Valentine's Day or flowers on your birthday, but if he brings that paycheck home every week, that's a good man. Love your husbands. The Bible tells us to love when we have a good man. Now, if he's abusing you and mistreating you and physically abusing you, the Holy Ghost will also give you when to pack your bags and
it's spelled B-O-A-Z. Everybody say B-O-A-Z. And so he's got some relatives called broke ass, po ass, lying ass, cheating ass, dumb ass, drunk ass. Don't go out with him. Cheap ass. Turn to somebody and say, I dated him. Locked up ass, good for nothing ass, lazy ass, and especially his third cousin beating your ass. Wait on your Boaz and make sure he respects your ass. Now there's your word.